5 ways to boost your IELTS vocabulary. Hi there. In this video, we're going to look at 5 ways to boost your vocabulary. And the last tip, the last one, is my favorite. Let's jump straight into it. So, number 1, learn the formulas of the words. Learn the rules. This is a very powerful technique because if you know like the root of the word, then you can add the prefix, you can add the suffix, and you can expand. This is also good for the reading because you can deduce the meaning. You can work out the meaning of the word rather than having to rely on the words that you already know. So this is why it's an incredibly powerful technique. I'm going to put some links that show you the rules. You know, like if you put able on the end, it usually means that the person can do the task or that it's possible, for example. So if you learn these rules, you can expand your vocabulary considerably. I'll give you an example. The word non-conformist, it's one word. We've got the prefix, which is non, which just means basically not. Then we've got the root, which is conform, which means to go along with. And then ist is usually the person, like a communist, Marxist, a capitalist. So if we look at that word, non-conformist, we can deduce that it's a person who does not go along with the routine. Okay, and that's because we know the rules. And personally, I find it really interesting looking at the origin because you can tell if once you know the rules at a deeper level, you can say, okay, unstoppable. You know that the prefix un is Germanic in origin. I think. And then able, like we said, is the ability. So we've got unstoppable. That means it's something that's just not likely to, it's something that could be unstoppable. It can't be stopped. Okay, so that's number 1. Learn the rules. This is really, really powerful. The final tip is my favorite, well, probably my second favorite, but we'll get there in a second. So number 2. This next one is more of a tool, and it's a Chrome extension. It's called vocabulary.com. So just go to Google, put vocabulary.com, Chrome extension, and here what you can do is you can highlight the words, make your list. It's got the definitions, and you can do all the tests, and you can learn them. And most importantly, you can learn them in context, and you can do it relatively quickly, i.e., you don't have to find the definitions, and you can just keep continuously testing it. It integrates well with spelling bee as well, so you can test your spelling, which is, if you're looking to get a 7 or higher, you absolutely need to have your spelling under control. Next one, Quizlet as well comes under this, Quizlet.com. I'll put the links to these places in the description. Quizlet, similar idea. You have to look for the definitions, I think, and you can just test yourself continuously with flashcards. And flashcards are a very powerful tool if you know how to use them. I'm not going to go into it now, but it's all about the learning curve, and I'll put a link to my vocabulary page where I talk about the learning curve, the repetition curve, that's it. And the amount of times that you repeat it, and spaced learning, and all these other learning concepts. So the third one, once you've learned the word, use it. Use it a few more times in that same day, and hopefully the next day. This kind of reinforces what I just said about spaced learning. So we say it a few times, then we try and say it again the next day. We try and use it in conversation. And this way we're more likely to remember it. Also, hopefully, we're going to get feedback whether we've used it correctly. If you're in an English-speaking country, this is essential. if you're learning new vocabulary, go out the next day and use that vocabulary, or the same day, use it. If you're not living in an English-speaking country, maybe try and incorporate it in your English-speaking class, or just write some sentences down. Again, you'll have hopefully learned the word in the correct context. So you write down your sentences, write them down hopefully in the correct context, and of course, get feedback on your writing. As I've said before, if you're not getting feedback, it's the equivalent of running through a forest with a blindfold on. Okay? You can just keep writing and writing and writing, but unless you're getting any feedback, any sort of like encouragement, direction, or some guidance, you're going to hit yourself. Okay? So final one, we're going on to number 4. This is a really, really good one as well. This is, get yourself an ebook, okay? Something like a Kindle. These are really good because, one, you can read about something that you're interested in. And AJ Hodge from Effortless English, he told me, look, if you're doing IELTS practice papers all day, every day, you're probably going to get very bored with this. And you're not likely to maintain this preparing for the exam for that long if you're just doing practice test. Okay? However, if you've got your test in a few months and you've got the luxury of time to prepare, then focus on your general English abilities and focus on something that you love. This is what AJ was saying. For example, if you are a football fanatic, or more likely, if you're absolutely obsessed with cricket, then all your media that you're consuming in your own language, you should start consuming it in English and about cricket. Okay, I got a bit off topic there. But what you can do with the ebook reader is find a book that you really like, or a book that really pulls you in, like a turn pager, it's called, where you just keep going and going. And this book, you'll be just practicing and immersing yourself in English. The time will go by, but with an ebook reader, you can, if there's a word you don't understand, you can just, with the touch of a button, touch that word and you get the whole definition. And what I love about this is that you get the definition. You don't get the translation. So your brain is continuously working. You're reinforcing this sense of complete immersion into the language. And possibly in the definition, you might not understand a word. So you have to go and look for the definition of that word. And so basically, you're just boosting your chances of remembering the word, learning more words, learning them correctly. And the good thing with the Kindle is that you've got this kind of like a game. It's called a vocabulary builder. So you can just test yourself with the flashcards, and it shows you where you first discovered the word. Then it's got the dictionary definition, and then you can test yourself. So it's really practical, and it's especially good if you're traveling a lot, because you can carry about 20,000 books, in your little device, and also you can get it on your phone and all this. But if you're traveling a lot, taking 20,000 books isn't too bad. The chances of you not finding a book that you like when you're on the plane are pretty slim. At the moment, I'm reading a really good book. I can't put it down. I'm literally just stuck to it. It's the history of glue, the history of glue, and I'm just stuck to it. I can't put it down. And if you didn't get that joke, you need to improve your IELTS vocabulary using one of these techniques. Next one, the 5th one, my favorite, or second favorite, but this is my favorite because it's really effective. It takes a lot of tenacity, determination, and time, and costs literally 0. So what you do is you start transcribing. And once again, choose a topic that is like top of mind. It's just really essential, or just really important for you, or that you really love. Okay. You get the video on YouTube, or you find a podcast, and you make sure it's got a transcript with it. Then you listen and then you transcribe what you hear. The beauty of this is that, one, you're going to hear it pronounced perfectly, more often than not, quite a few times. The first time you hear it, you're going to hear it with perfect pronunciation. Second, you can guess as to how it's spelled. Later, go back and check. So you're developing your listening skills. Also, your reading skills, because you're keeping it up. And these are good skills to have for the exam, listening, writing, comprehending, all simultaneously. The other point is that if you're learning the pronunciation, if you're learning the sound of the language, the sound of the word from the very first time you hear it, the chances of you repeating that pronunciation, that perfect pronunciation, are vastly improved, which goes to improve your whole speaking ability. And then the final one is that you're going to learn the word in context, which, as I've said before, is very important, because you don't want to just learn a list of words. That's ridiculous. You want to learn the words in their context. I won't go into any more detail, but just to summarize, if you've got a hell of a lot of determination, if you're very tenacious and you've got some time, and not that much cash, then start transcribing. You can check your spelling. You're just going to improve all aspects of your language skills. So if you need any more help with your IELTS, you can go to IELTSPodcast.com, and you can even check out the online course if you're in a rush. If you're just fed up with this IELTS frustration and you just need to get through the course, get through the exam. And if you don't have that much time to prepare, then it's probably worth looking at the course. Also, like I said, because I think feedback is a very important aspect in the learning, in the development of the language and of your learning journey. Also have a look at the feedback service, the essay correction service there at IELTSPodcast.com. Okay, my name is Ben Worthington. Good luck with your IELTS preparation. If you've got any questions, you can leave a comment in the description, in the comment section below. Have a great day and all the best with your IELTS prep.